I provided the
like
fans
I
with.
said. I don't care. You're live. All right, sweet. All right, we're live
All right,
on
hallelujah,
YouTube.
we're
Hey,
live.
everybody. This is what we look like, and this is my name's Brock, and my co-host.
I'm Kyle.
And we've been providing you the news for Talking Toys for the past year. Welcome. It is finally episode 10. We know we're a little late on the SDCC 2019 news. We were both on vacation. It is vacation season. We've both been out of town. But here we are now.
Florida,
and I was in Pittsburgh. So we're in two different places at the same time. Just finally got around to doing it. And then we had we would have given it to you like last week, but we had technical difficulties. But hi, we're live. Feel free to chat, like and subscribe our page on YouTube and Facebook. Well, if we see any comments, we'll glance at them and see if we can answer any of your questions. But we'll get right into the news right now. Just wanted to address the kind of elephant in the room right now. Sony and Marvel have broke up their Spider-Man deal with was Homecoming and the co-lease of Spider-Man in the MCU with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which is a little bit difficult. But what it was, if you don't know what it was Marvel had Spider-Man on loan from Sony, and Sony had all the creative control pretty much. But Sony made the movie. What they did is they made the movie profits, but Disney and Marvel pretty much made all the merchandising and 5% off of whatever the movie made. Your thoughts on that, my friend?
I can definitely understand it from a couple different perspectives. First one is Sony is not stupid. They know that Spider-Man is always going to do well. It's done well since its inception in Amazing Fantasy 15 all those years back.
Yeah.
They know it's, despite the success of Iron Man, Thor, the Avengers, yada yada yada, they know it's the hot commodity in Marvel and one of the hottest commodities in comics in general. They're not stupid. They want to make more money, and I understand, and they don't want Disney to kind of dictate everything, kind of like monopolistic bullies or anything. But as fans, I will say that, like, if I had to go down the line out of what Sony's done without the help of Disney, Spider-Man 1 was amazing. Spider-Man 2 was amazing. Probably the best Spider-Man movie ever.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 had some interesting things, but overall sucked. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was awful. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst Spider-Man movie ever. And only had the only good thing was how they redid Jerry Conway's iconic scene where he kills Gwen Stacy. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already. Even though that was 5 years ago.
Right.
And then I loved the little Easter egg with Smythe and trying to set up the Sinister Six. But so I understand it from both perspectives. I know for me, the last one, Jake Gyllenhaal, my favorite Marvel comic book villain, period, is Mysterio. And Jake Gyllenhaal did amazing as him. They set it up perfectly. The end after credit scene was amazing. And I don't want another reboot of Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, and they know they would get my money anyways because I would go to see it. But
Yeah.
I love how they tie everything in. Now, I will say Disney's done some creative liberties that I haven't liked necessarily too. Like Tom Holland's good, but Tobey Maguire will always be the best Spider-Man. And Zendaya saying that she's Marvel's MJ, but she's not Mary Jane is stupid. She seems like a very nice person, and she does a good job in her acting role.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I just don't get how you can say that she's not Mary Jane, but you call her MJ. Right. I feel like Marvel's
it's
messing with us, and then also. They didn't do it as much in the latest film, but in the first film, they had some aspects of it that were very social justice-y that I didn't necessarily care for. But other than that, I think this latest incarnation of Spider-Man, I think, has been a very big, fresh set of air. Michael Keaton was an amazing Vulture. They didn't give Shocker enough love, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
Michael Keaton I thought was great, and then obviously Jake Gyllenhaal, fantastic.
Right. And so I mean, it's weird because I can't really say I can't blame Sony for sticking it to Marvel, for saying no for their first offer, but then Marvel kind of came in and wanting like 50% of the profits, which is a lot. Like, come on, Marvel, Disney, get real. Like, I could see maybe 20-25% around that range of profits you want, but like, come on. And the fans want to see Spider-Man in the MCU, which I'm totally for, but it's hard because this is like the third rendition of Spider-Man. So I know a lot of people don't like this, what they call Iron Man Jr. version of Spider-Man, which is, I mean, like, here's how I stand on it. Like, I love the first two Spider-Mans. 3 was meh, but it had some good parts, but overall it was a meh film. The Amazing Spider-Man to me was hot garbage, and so was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 hot garbage. I didn't like the direction. The only thing that was good about it was that they were hinting at a Sinister Six movie,
right? And then
great.
And then how the tribute to Jerry Conway was awesome,
right? That was well done. I love that.
But other than that,
I didn't like the look of the villains. I thought they all looked stupid, from the Lizard to Electro to the Goblin.
Yeah, like, you mean to tell me you're gonna go with the ultimate version of Electro instead of like the really cool nostalgic 1960s 1970s version, which everyone knows?
Right.
Because I remember so many people who are just like maybe casual fans of comics. Like, I love Jamie Foxx. He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And even he couldn't carry that character because there were so many people that were like, why is Electro blue with like, black lightning bolts and stuff? And then people would be reminded, oh, this is the ultimate version of Electro. And it's like, no, stop. And then I will say the Rhino wasn't too bad in that movie either, but like Harry Osborn becoming a dumb version of the Green Goblin was like, it was
too quick and rushed, and it just was bad. And
at that point I was like, just let Sam Raimi do his thing. Bring back Sam Raimi. Like,
we're in a precarious situation with Spider-Man, folks. Is that you invested all your time and money into seeing Tom Holland as Spider-Man in the MCU, which is great, and he will still be Spider-Man. I get that, but it's just, here's my thing is that I didn't like how he was so connected to Iron Man. Like, I didn't mind it in Homecoming, but in Far From Home, they kept showing like Iron Man posters and Iron Man. It's like, okay, you could show that for like the fourth of the movie, but they showed it for like 60% of the movie. I'm like, all right, I get it. He's dead. Like, Iron Man, spoiler alert for Endgame, folks. Iron Man died, and it's like they're still showing him, and he's like so connected to Tony Stark. And a lot of people didn't like Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, but
yeah, like Aunt May, like some of the things they did too, like her as well. Like, Aunt May is like the Aunt May from the Sam Raimi movies is the perfect Aunt May, and now it's like, okay, you made Aunt May
attractive.
Like, yeah, for a better use of rhetoric, you made her like very young, very attractive. Now Aunt May is gonna date Happy Hogan, and I was like, why?
I didn't
like. I know they understand. I know it. I understand they want to appeal to more than just comic book fans, and they want to make as much profit as they can. Right. Disney is like one of the top 10, biggest money making people, corporations in the entire world. So I understand that, right. But it was like some of the things they did were just, it was amazing. It was like they saw the stupid decisions Zack Snyder made in the DC world, and they were like, we're Marvel, we can get away with that.
Well, yeah, I was hoping this was their move. He's palling around for Iron Man and maybe like a movie or two or whatever, and then like the third movie is like his true solo movie or whatever. And then like you have a trilogy or a couple movies where he's in college, and those are your Spider-Man movies, and then maybe another couple of films after that where he's an adult or something like that. And it's just kind of like, here you've invested this Spider-Man character, now we're taking him away, and it's like, well, okay. I mean, it's like, I get it. It's like, I get it if you don't like it. It's not like the comic book. Rarely a whole lot of movies are based solely and exactly like the comic book. But however, it's just to be in the spirit of comic books. But however, I think the Tobey Maguire ones were the best and closest thing to the comic book. But however, this is, like I said, the third rendition. They got to do something different to keep it fresh. However, I think, Disney asked too much. And Sony, if they're gonna do it, they said, well, we're still gonna make it, and it'd be cool if he's in the Venomverse with Venom from Tom Hardy's Venom.
I'm excited. I thought not everyone liked it, but I thought Tom Hardy did a really fun take on Venom. Some of the things I was like, why is he an investigative reporter? But I was like, whatever. I put that aside.
Right.
They made Eddie Brock not a bully, and I was like, okay, whatever. But like the fact that they showed Venom just kind of like, really being a parasite, really, from the inside out. And then I can't think of the actor's name, but the way they set up for Carnage was awesome. Now, granted, if Carnage is not rated R, they are doing a disservice to the character, because he has to be rated R because Carnage is his namesake. He kills people.
Right.
The symbiote infects a mass murderer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't do anything pertaining to that, that's a great disservice.
It's just, I want to see Spider-Man in that universe too, but I still want to see him partially in the MCU. But those films could be made better. But
I wish they would just be adults and like think of something really good. But like, I definitely understand that, Disney bought Fox. And Disney, all those years, like even though for the most part, the DC movies are getting better. Wonder Woman was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Shazam was amazing. Like, they're getting better. We're both very excited about Wonder Woman 2, even though no trailers have come out.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking in itself that we haven't seen a Wonder Woman trailer yet, or a poster,
or anything.
Yeah, or anything. But I mean,
But the one thing that I do think that DC has, the powers that be at DC were incredibly smart for most of their films. The main DC superheroes, they have partnered with Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And by Sony and then Fox at one point had before Disney bought Fox, but by them like dividing it up, it was less intelligent, and I know they regret it, because like if you look at DC too, like their quote unquote like Vertigo comics, like your V for Vendetta, which was amazing, they did, I just feel like DC works out a lot of their deals better because they're one-off. Well, because they know V for Vendetta, even though he's DC, he would never be in the same universe as a Batman, or even though Watchmen. You would never see Rorschach necessarily with like the Flash. So
no,
I just think DC, how they divide up their assets, I think they've done a consistently better job.
Yeah, it's all in house, and sorry if it's a little grainy on the camera, folks. That will be fixed in the next live stream. But we went with the webcam right now. I was trying this out for the first time, but I think I wish a deal would be made, because I'd like to see Spider-Man interact with the rest of the MCU. But I wouldn't mind him being in the Venomverse and interacting with those characters. I mean, just like figure a deal out. I mean, there was a rumor of a 7-term deal where they would do another Spider-Man trilogy, and he'd be in a couple more movies as well on top of that, where he would be in college.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I know people don't like this Spider-Man right now, and I get it. But they picked, here's the thing. Their plan was to pick a young actor for Spider-Man and then start him out as like a teenager and then grow him into college and then adult. And he was kind of supposed to carry the torch after Robert Downey Jr. is leaving.
I heard rumors that I forget who it was. Someone told me that I don't know if it was you or if it was someone else told me that like they, the reason he has like different nerdy friends throughout the Spider-Man trilogy is because Disney was not allowed to use like Harry Osborn's likeness and stuff like that. Like I heard rumors they have restrictions.
I'm not sure.
Which if that's true, that sucks because I mean I don't mind it. I think the Science-y kids, I think they hold well.
Yeah.
But I would also, I mean, the dream is to have him meet a down the line to have him meet a Harry Osborn or in a dream world in the animated series when Madam Web was introduced.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and they were transported to like different universes and stuff. Like if you could introduce Madam Web down the line in a couple more movies, you could do a lot of fun things by having her be there. And I don't even know who you'd have at that. I can't think of her name, but what was it? What's that crazy anti-Trump actress with the gray hair? She's old.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
No, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is the Supreme Court justice.
I don't know.
What's her name? She won a lot of awards.
I don't know. But I want to see
that'd be cool to be introduced.
I want to see the Spider-Man grow. And that's what kind of like I thought. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're kind of campy now. I get it. But it's like in the future, Iron Man grew, throughout the like 10 years. And to me, like the big three were gonna be I had this envision like, okay, well, who's going to be your Marvel's next big three? Is it going to be Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Spider-Man? Or is it going to be Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Doctor Strange now? I mean, it's like, who's going to care? Thor's kind of pushed to the side. Guardians is going to wrap up. Ant-Man is not a character.
It's going to be interesting because even Stan Lee, back when he was, what did you tell me? It was like, his brother was writing Iron Man, and Stan Lee technically wasn't because Iron Man was always seen as a B-level character.
Yeah.
So I mean, they technically can propel anyone. I think Black Panther could be
one of the big.
I think he could be one of the big three. I'm trying to think. I don't know too many of his villains. Introducing Claw was cool.
I think I heard Submariner might be in the next Black Panther.
Submariner would be fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of introductions, Kit Harington as Black Knight. How do you think they're going to introduce him?
Well, he's going to be in Eternals.
I don't know too much about the Eternals.
I don't either. I think they're just supreme beings, kind of like this. This just higher, almost godlike beings. But
the thing Marvel has on its side, though, is pretty much everything they introduce is good. Like, there's been very few movies where you and I were both like, that sucked or that was underwhelming.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel sucked. Very underwhelming. Thor 1 was good. It was underrated. Thor 2 sucked. Iron Man 3 was hot garbage. But speaking of Iron Man, didn't you tell me was what? The Mandarin was going to be the villain for
Shang-Chi, the Shang-Chi movie.
That's going to be fun.
It'll be called Shang-Chi, I think Legend of the Ten Rings or something like that.
I remember when you told me that, I was like, okay, now they Marvel does stuff like that where it's like, take the rope and they can, reel you in because they're going to like, no disrespect to Sir Ben Kingsley. Like, he could have played that role really well, but Marvel handcuffed him.
Right.
Like, they handcuffed him because he's a legendary actor and he was doing really well until they revealed him as Trevor Slattery, this drug addict, and I was just like,
And I wanted to see Iron Man face off the Mandarin, and that didn't happen.
Because
nothing with the rings, and
right,
it's just the trailers were better for Iron Man 3 than the actual movie.
Honest Trailers did something really good where they were like, you want to see Iron Man, but we'll give you regular man.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Tony Stark moping.
And he was never in the suit, and that's a whole other thing. But
that's another rant for another day.
I think with Spider-Man, a deal should be struck. Give Marvel just a little bit more, maybe because they're making the movies. I know they're collecting the merchandise, but they're making the movies. I admire Sony for saying no, we're not doing the 50%. I mean,
right, because
sticking it to Disney.
Sony doesn't want to just roll over. They're smart.
Right.
They create good technology, and they know what they have.
Here's my problem with it. I think Disney's being too greedy, and they make a lot of money off Spider-Man merchandise regardless. And I think they should keep making the movies because creatively, I think, they'll. I don't think they're doing a terrible job. They're not doing super. I won't say it was like, oh, it's the best Spider-Man, but it's better than the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. I'm not hating the new Spider-Mans. I know they're far from what the comics are.
The new.
I'm hoping this Spider-Man can grow.
I mean, greatest end credit scene ever.
Right.
Was in the last one though, and bringing back the guy as J. Jonah Jameson was smart. So they're doing some good things.
Right. But I don't have
far from perfect.
I don't have confidence in Sony making a good Spider-Man.
I don't either.
I don't. You had your shot with the Amazing Spider-Man, you blew it, and now here we are today because you had to like partner up with Marvel because of it, because nobody liked that Spider-Man.
Because Sony, like, it's weird because I remember reading an article when I was when I was a kid, that said if there was another Spider-Man movie, I love how they phrased it as if they wouldn't want to make another Spider-Man movie, because they made 1,000 Batman movies. Who's best superhero ever? Just saying. But I remember they phrased it like if we were to make another one, what would Stan Lee want as his favorite character, as the next villain? And Stan Lee said the Lizard. So I understood that. And honestly, Dr. Kirk Connors, the actual actor who played Kirk Connors, did a commendable job. But then you and I saw the CG and we're like, no,
right.
Foul in the play. Like, what is this crap? Like, he looked like garbage. And people were like, oh, well, it stays true to the comics. And I was like, not really. And he looked like garbage. Like, the CG was, for a company that prides itself on CG, they did a terrible job with the CG there.
And Sony's not really they're not a Disney. They're a tech company that has the rights to Spider-Man that makes movies.
Yeah, they're a tech company that made a good investment at the right time.
And I think they're getting a little cocky because they're like, well, we made a great Venom movie and we made a great Miles Morales story. Yeah, you had 2 wins, and one is animation, so it's not really like a live action. But you can't just we're good. I mean, it's like you're getting a little. I mean, here's the thing: Sony has the rights, but they don't have the creativity. Marvel has the creativity, but they don't have the rights.
Right,
they need each other regardless, in my perspective.
You know what I would like to see though? I'm interested to see how they would do this. So the Russo brothers, I think, have done really well, and I don't know about you, but their new movie with Chadwick Boseman, like solving cop murders or whatnot.
Yeah, it's like 20-some bridges or 21 bridges or something.
Looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks great, yeah.
Plus the Russo brothers, I'm just saying as a side note, they're from Cleveland, which is awesome too. But anyways, I would love to see the Russo brothers direct the third installment of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm so satisfied with Mysterio. I would love to see Chameleon, Kraven the Hunter. You have so many options, but like
yeah, and it's not just
I think if they work together they could do really well.
It's not just Spider-Man, folks, that they it's not just Spider-Man that Sony has. It's the villains, the characters. Like, they want to make a Morbius movie and a Black Cat and a Silver Sable movie.
Yeah, they've been talking about Morbius for a hot minute, and that would be great because if you guys really want the best incarnation of Spider-Man, if you don't have time to read the comics or the graphic novels or whatever, watch the animated series from the early 90s because Morbius is fascinating. I think it's a really good story. And then with Morbius, you could tie in Blade. Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like they did in the animated series where they had Morbius and then Stan Lee drew Blade in and they did Dimensions. Like, oh my God. My nerd senses are tingling. I'm so excited.
It's frustrating. I hope a deal gets made. Either Disney needs to pay for the rights of Spider-Man or what. I mean, I almost
want them to just be like, okay, 50-50 everything. But it will never happen.
It'll never happen. But it's like Disney could ask for 20. I mean, come on, they make movies. They make money off Star Wars. They make money off everything else. It's just they make money. They even make money off their own properties, like Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse has been around since the 30s, right? I mean, just strike a deal, Disney. I mean, it's just like, I wanted to see this Spider-Man grow. You've kind of already established that he's almost gonna like pretty much carry the torch of the MCU, replacing Iron Man, and with no Captain America, a Thor that's still going on, but a Thor that is kind of like at his low right now. But
yeah, fat Thor.
And Captain America done. You're either gonna have to get Spider-Man somehow, Black Panther, and Doctor Strange as your top 3 or Captain Marvel? And if not, you're going to get Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, and Black Panther as your top 3. Now,
it would be interesting because like the thing with Spider-Man has really deep villains.
Yeah.
Iron Man, after exploring it and going back to even the animated series, like people that may not realize it because I think they're relatively undervalued.
Yeah.
But Iron Man has a really unique collective of villains too. He has a great rogues gallery. Doctor Strange, to me, is like the equivalent of like, the Daredevil rogues gallery. Like, okay, you have Bullseye, but then Daredevil number 2 back in the 60s had Electro. Because like, in one of Daredevil's main other main adversary is a Spider-Man villain in Kingpin. So it's like I feel like I don't want them to be like, oh crap, like what do we do now?
Wrapping up, what do you want to see done?
I want to see them work out a deal. I like Tom Holland. I still think Tobey Maguire will forever be my favorite, and it's not just nostalgia. I think he's a great actor who, for some reason, I don't know. He's very underground. He seems to be a very private person, which, hey, kudos to him. He's earned it. I think he's done great in like everything he's done. But I'd love to see them work it out. And then a guy can dream, and I know it's been all over the internet, but give me Tom Holland, give me Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield in an Into the Spider-Verse live action movie. They would make billions, guaranteed billions, because I just think they would do so much fun, and it makes me want to just like I feel like Andrew Garfield would be. I don't know why I think this, but I think Andrew Garfield would be easier to get to do Spider-Man over Tobey Maguire because he was Spider-Man not that long ago, but I would love to see all 3 of them in an Into the Spider-Verse type movie.
I want to see Spider-Man in the MCU again. And I want that 7 movie deal. Marvel's creativity does all the work. They get at least 20-something%, maybe 10 to 20% of whatever, they get the merchandising thing because Sony. Here's the thing: is it affects the toy market too. You won't get Marvel Legends movie Spider-Man toys if it's just Sony. You just won't.
Right.
You won't get those. You won't get Marvel Legends or Hasbro making stuff.
Makes me want to be like,
you'll get everything from the comic, but you won't get anything from the movies.
Right, and I know you and I were talking about on an earlier episode about how they currently have the ability to go back and do like a Willem Dafoe Green Goblin or and stuff like that. And a lot of the Toy Biz toys have cool aesthetics and cool aspects to them. Like one of the most underrated ones is they have Willem Dafoe just sitting in a chair where you can press a button and the Green Goblin talks.
Yeah.
But I want those toys to be remade, and I think Hasbro would make a killing off of them. So I don't want
Disney make a deal.
I don't want people to mess that up.
Get that seven film thing solidified. Sony, stop being so stubborn. Get it done. Just get it done, because that doesn't mean Tom Holland can't star in the Venom movies, or it doesn't mean that he can't star in the MCU either. This is what fans want.
And you can expand it to, you can introduce a Miles Morales down the line, or a Spider-Man 2099 down the line. Like, you could have so much fun with
another trilogy where he's like, you did your high school one, maybe he'll do the college, and then he'll do be as an adult, and then maybe you could build up to a Sinister Six movie. Just let Marvel do what they're supposed to, like they're good at. Because creatively, if you don't sign a deal with Marvel, guess what? It's all on you. And if you fail like you did during the first 2 Amazing Spider-Mans, people will never forgive you, and they won't see your movie. And if you're a fan and let's say you're mad about this news, vote with your wallet, because if you're just upset about it, and these companies thrive on making a buck, and if let's say the third movie stinks and doesn't do well financially, and it's a Sony movie, they're going to be crawling back to Marvel again. Granted, now I know Kevin Feige isn't going to be, they said he isn't going to be doing the movie, but I honestly I think Kevin Feige's getting stretched thin. One guy trying to do the movies and the TV verse with Disney Plus that's more than just one.
I mean,
one guy can handle.
I hope they pay him well because
they do. It's just
they're like over. They're like you said, they're stretching him thin.
I
a stretch
think he needs a team of 3 to 4 people, maybe 5, to him overseeing, and they make sure the stuff on Disney Plus matches with the stuff in the movies, and the stuff in the movies matches with the stuff on Disney Plus, and it's more connected. I hope he's not. I mean, he can be overworked and overstretched, and I don't know how much of a part he plays in every single movie, but him trying to keep track of everything is just insane. Even for one person. But if he had like a team of people where they're all on the same page, I'd be for that. I want to see a deal struck where Spider-Man's in the Venomverse, the MCU, and they still make Spider-Man movies because we've already invested all our time and money into this. So strike a deal. I know it's not the optimal Spider-Man, but let's cut it some slack where it is the 3rd rendition of Spider-Man. I hope those movies get a little bit darker, more personal, and less so clingy to Iron Man or the rest of the MCU in his own solo movies. Okay, so I think we've
covered it.
Covered it pretty much with the Spider-Man Sony deal.
Here's going into toys. Let's talk about some recent post SDCC news.
Yeah.
What do you think about the NECA New York Comic Con exclusive Green Lantern 2-pack with the Predator? Continuing since DC's license is going to Marvel or is going to McFarlane technically starting in January, companies are finishing it up, and I don't know the parameters per se.
Is this the end of this?
This is the end.
This is the end. Okay.
So NECA said basically they had to pump it out because since Dark Horse and DC are both involved, everyone wanted a slice of the pie.
Yeah.
So they've done a couple that are Comic-Con exclusives. The first 2 were Superman versus the Alien, which that Superman is amazing. I will eventually get it.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was an Armored Batman versus Predator. The 3rd one is a Batman versus a Joker alien.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4th one they introduced is a Green Lantern versus Predator. And the Predator is a Sinestro Corps Predator from the 2008 story. I believe it was. I know it was pertaining to like the Sinestro Corps War.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks incredible because of all the different they added the Sinestro Corps aesthetics, tons of accessories, little beam shooting out of the Green Lanterns. Plus, they did something that was incredibly cool. They have both a Hal Jordan and a John Stewart head associated with the Green Lantern.
I mean, the sculpts on the DC superheroes are great looking. I haven't seen them in person, so I can't.
Well, you will eventually see it when I buy it.
Yeah, you're gonna buy them. I mean,
just that's incredible. And what is it? New York Comic Con's October?
Yeah. So I mean, that's a cool concept. I don't know how far they could have gone with it because it's just Alien and Predator, unless they added some other monster or alien or something like that. But I mean, it's not a bad. They did a good job on the sculpt. It's a cool concept. I like what they did with the Alien Joker thing. That was kind of different.
Yeah, and they're based
the
off.
Predator thing was pretty cool.
They're based off of short story lines.
Yeah.
But that were team ups of Dark Horse Comics and DC Comics. So they're all based off of that stuff.
Yeah.
You and I both don't necessarily care about Alien or Predator, but making the Predator Sinestro Corps, I was like, okay, I just got to. And the cool thing that I give NECA props for, NECA's DC figures that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I have that Superman Muhammad Ali 2-pack, and I have the '89 Batman that they did. That was like a Toys, hard to find now because Toys R Us is only in Canada, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
But I think they're coming back. But those are technically 7-inch.
Yeah.
But the thing that they did that was smart comparatively with their competition across the aisle in DC Collectibles is DC Collectibles with their stupid 7-inch line is the legs are like huge.
Yeah.
But NECA's smart and their legs are more proportionally balanced with their torsos.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great because if you look at the '89 Batman, NECA always has done beautiful sculpts. Their sculpts are their best part, or my favorite part of their figures. But they've added more articulation, and it's like if you look at the NECA one, and then you look at that, and then now you look at these two packs, and you got like toe articulation, and you got like this and next thing. The only thing that would have made like that Superman figure, I'm so excited to get it. The only thing that would have made it perfect is wire in the cape.
Yeah,
that I could that you could utilize
right.
Articulation with the bendy wire. Bendy wire capes make every figure better.
Well, they're supposed to like. Come on, you're doing softer goods. You're doing the bendy wire cape.
Right? Because like if Superman is Superman's flying like this, his cape is not going to be down.
That's Toys 101.
Yeah, his cape is going to be flying back. It's not going to be draping like
right.
Simple nerd stuff. But I thought they did great, and I think the Green Lantern one's their best one. What's your opinion, my friend? I don't think you're getting it. I know I'm getting it.
The Superman.
The specifically the Green Lantern one. What do you think about the aesthetics and everything?
What, the one with Predator?
Yeah, the one with the Sinestro.
I mean, I don't know. That's a 2-pack. I'll probably pass on.
The thing that sucks is they are Comic-Con exclusives, so that can drive the price.
If I was really into the story, I'd get into it, but it's not something I collect, and it's cool. I mean, it's a different take on things, and it's cool to get a different company do a DC characters. What was the other one? Superman
versus just a regular alien.
Oh, the alien. Okay.
Armored Batman versus Predator.
Did that have a soft goods cape?
Yeah.
Oh, it did? Okay. The Superman looks like cool.
the I've always wanted good laser beams shooting out of the eyes, and they did a great job with that.
What scale is that?
Those are technically 7-inch.
7-inch, okay.
But the way they do the 7-inch, as I was saying before, is NECA does a really good job with their 7-inch. And it's funny because as collectors, all we want is good, affordable 6-inch scale DC figures.
We'll get to that in a minute.
And I like multiple scales too, so you can formulate smaller characters with larger.
We'll get to that in a minute. Don't worry. We're coming back to that. Don't worry. Relax. So, Alpha Flight pack came out during that.
It was like
D23. I think it was D23, or it was something like that.
Or it might have been. I thought it was something in Canada.
It was a Canada thing.
It was an expo. Yeah, in Canada.
Yeah, so they're making an Alpha Flight with all the Alpha characters.
It was like Puck and all of them, except for Sasquatch.
Sasquatch is the Build-A-Figure that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not.
So it was
from that one wave.
Definitely smart because now it makes that Build-A-Figure even more sought after.
It is, yeah. People want to know. And the Alpha Flight pack, and then that stealth suit Iron Man that's going to come out. I don't know if that was a Walgreens exclusive or what that was.
I have no clue, but I know it's part of the 80 years line.
That's all like a blue and black armor.
They gave him a lightsaber.
You got if you're into Alpha Flight. I mean, I'm not gonna get it, but it's pretty cool that if you're into it and you read it and you're gonna get that. They had like what's that Canadian superhero? Captain Canada or something. Guardian. He's going to be in it. They have a figure.
Despite the fact that they already released a Guardian like within the past month or two.
Puck, Guardian, some woman, and these two brother-sister duo things. I can't remember. I just don't know anything about Alpha Flight.
I don't either.
But that came out recently for Marvel Legends. FYI, that's a 6-inch Marvel Legend line.
It looks very cool.
And that will be an Amazon exclusive.
Amazon's getting some cool exclusives.
Yeah, they are.
I wish I cared about it, but I don't. But the Family Matters 3-pack. Then when they get the Palpatine throne, and even if I cared about the 3 3/4-inch ones, their Sinister 6 one from Marvel Universe. Was that 2 years ago? That was cool. Like Amazon. I mean, Jeff Bezos certainly is not an idiot. Like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna break into SDCC finally, right? I know we're late. We're gonna go run through what came out, but also our thoughts on each company. All right, and we'll start off with Mezco. Figures released from SDCC. They released a new Iron Fist figure, Morbius, Popeye and Bluto. Obviously, you saw Aquaman and Wonder Woman. It had an exclusive Far From Home Spider-Man, Jason figure, Freddy, Conan the Barbarian, Moon Knight, and I think that was it from the 112th? 112th line?
Yeah. 112 Collective, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the figures that came out. Did you like any of those are the new ones, I should say. Did you like any of them that you would say I'm gonna buy?
No.
And
Zero Zipnota pertaining to their 112th Collective line. Talker Art.
Same here. I agree.
Talker Art made a really good point where once they released Popeye, he figured because Mezco, I think they have the exclusive license to it. If not, they're the only people I've ever seen make Popeye action figures in the modern era since like the awesome, the cool ones from like the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And 60s and 70s and yada, yada, yada. But the Popeye figures, like, I remember Tucker Art made a really good point where he's like, because I guess that Popeye figure is awesome, but he's like, he knew if he bought the Popeye that he would want to buy all the villains and stuff too. And it's like, then you start to think about, do you really want like down the line $1,000 worth of Popeye action figures in your collection? If you're a huge Popeye fan, go for it. But
yeah,
I like Popeye, but I just don't necessarily care enough.
I think the coolest figure was released was the Morbius. But I can't say I'm going to be interested in buying them. I don't know. This year was kind of like a meh show from Mezco. I don't.
Yeah, well, especially because Mezco, like, they haven't been. Like, I heard rumors Pierre got fired for some reason, and like the Mr. Mezco guy like doesn't talk. Like, ever since they messed up their distribution and whatnot, like they don't talk to YouTubers and stuff, and
or
it's like
quality control issues were also another big thing.
And it's weird because it's like
late shipping issues.
It's like you got to talk to the fans. That's why,
right.
I think some of the best people to talk to the fans are Randy from NECA.
Yeah.
The dude from Super 7. I don't remember his name. Todd McFarlane, obviously, because he's been in this industry forever, and he's not, certainly not a moron. Very smart guys, very astute. So,
right,
like, and then the Hasbro teams and the Mattel teams have all done a good job. So it's like Mezco makes $80 action figures that are supposed to be, cheaper alternatives to Hot Toys. And they're supposed to be Hot Toys quality, but yet I feel like they've been inconsistent. Like, the best one is still that Punisher I got is amazing. And then even with how they distribute accessories, like, it's like if they have a lesser known, character, like the Blade action figure I got,
yeah,
which is awesome. And it contains a ton of accessories, but then I got the first release of the Joker and it contained a gun and one interchangeable hand and like a stand. And you're just like, where's the, lack of consistency?
I just, I'm very picky about my Mezcos, and none of these stood out to me. I mean, the Iron Fist was cool, but it looks like he was in pajamas.
Yeah.
And he should be almost in that same cloth getup as Morbius, but they didn't do that design.
And the coolest figure that they had from that particular line, they didn't advertise. Someone sneaked a photo of the Thanos, and it's like, why would
Thanos,
you?
Yes, the Mezco
it makes me wonder if that was deliberate. Like, if it was deliberate to like drive attention, kind of like where they.
It was a tease, I think.
Yeah, where they talked. I remember a couple years back, they had the dream sequence, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Nightmare Batman dream sequence one, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna get rid of that." We were gonna get rid of it, but fans wanted so bad that we're going to release it. And then they released it as an online exclusive. And it's like, no, you weren't. You just wanted to drive attention to your site. And that's why that's, such a hot figure. It's supposed to be a cool figure. But
yeah,
Mezco's weird. But why don't you tell everyone their 5 points? Because I think that's where they shined.
Yeah, they're Superman 3-inch figures. Had Robot Superman, Clark, and Lois from the very old 40s. Old short 40s films, and you could actually watch those on DC Universe. I saw.
Really?
You could watch. Yeah, I have like the whole first season of that.
Good job, DC.
Yeah, I think applause for that. And
that's staying true to your history.
Yeah, and you can get Superman, Clark, and Lois Lane, and you can get the robot. There's a robot that comes out with it, and they also released Scooby Doo with Space Ghost and Birdman. Pretty much all those were just surprisingly good.
They were cool. Like
That was where they shined. Yeah.
if you want some fun shelf fodder, like I normally don't care about quote unquote reaction figure styles ones where it's like a pays homage to back in the day, but I want the entire line of Superman ones because it's cool. Now, it made me really want a Mezco style Clark Kent where he can just lift it and do the Superman.
Right.
Do you know if those are going to be individually carded or are they going to be like a set?
Oh, the
5 points.
The 5-point ones. I believe I don't know. I haven't seen anything about them. I assume they might come in a pack because they're so small. So I don't know. I mean,
wouldn't it be interesting if they did I don't think they're going to, but if they did like a build them, build the robot, build the mystery machine,
right?
Because what is it? I know Superman was the ones you and I really liked a lot, and then Scooby Doo was cool. And speaking of Scooby Doo, that reminds me why people have asked for years now, like Mezco for the 112th line did Space Ghost.
Yeah, they did that,
and they haven't done any other Hanna-Barbera figures, which is foolish because I love Hanna-Barbera. And I think if they did like a Scooby Shaggy 2-pack and then they just like slowly release it, I'm sure they're nervous about like, would people really care about buying a Fred action figure? Or would people really care about buying Barney Rubble? But I think people would care. I really do.
There's enthusiasts out there.
I mean, and if need be, they could even do that King Kong figure I have, the Noir PX Previews exclusive one.
Yeah.
That's $40. I think if they were even to drop it like how they did with that King Kong one-off figure,
right?
If you drop it to 40 and you don't necessarily have to have as much articulation, or as many cloth style goods, I think you could still do well.
I'm right there with you, and I agree with you what you said. With you got to talk to your fans. You can't just say, "Oh, we're doing a show," but no, we don't have no representative for the company to talk to the fans or anybody.
Right? Because I mean,
that's BS in my opinion.
People obviously like what they're doing.
You gotta talk to. Your fans.
People
have questions. People are curious how the company's working, or why is shipping a problem? Why is distribution a problem? Why is
quality control?
Quality control, exactly.
I mean. One of the true testaments to show how much people like Mezco is people are willing to buy all these different versions of Gomez, which if you're not familiar with it, Gomez is this bug creature thing that's their mascot.
Right.
If people are willing to spend $80 on your mascot with some like guns and effects and stuff, obviously people like what you're doing and they like the action figures you're providing. And I think they could do some really special things, but like
the Thanos was my favorite thing that they half showed.
Yeah, and it's like, but
I'm looking forward to that. I assume they're going to release that in New York Comic Con.
But they got to do some things differently. Like the Darkseid figure I have is cool, but the fact that I spent all that money and I can't enjoy LEDs is like, it makes me really want to like
a Mezco fan right here has LED problems.
LEDs and the lights,
and he doesn't have working LEDs in his Darkseid Mezco figure.
And they waited.
Play the Sarah McLachlan music now.
Exactly. They waited 3 years to release that, and they couldn't perfect it. But yet DC Collectibles, who's a company that we consistently rag on for all the right reasons, because they consistently have had their issues, released that Batman motorcycle that I was talking about earlier at the beginning of the stream, and their LEDs are all gorgeous, and it's 1/4 the price. It cost me like $48 instead of $180, and it's like, if they can do it in a motorcycle vinyl figure, why can't you? Especially because people are paying good money. Like Hot Toys doesn't have that problem.
No, I mean, all toy companies are different.
I have that Hot Toy Iron Man Igor figure.
Yeah,
the LEDs kind of a pain in the butt to install.
Yeah.
But they all work beautifully.
Those are very tricky when you do that kind of stuff in a figure. But moving on to Mattel, it's their final goodbye towards DC Multiverse figures. They had Red Hood Robin figure.
They went out with a bang.
Killer Croc Build-A-Figure. KG Beast. Dick Grayson Batman interchangeable head. And Detective 27 Batman with soft goods cape. And the top figure they released was the Alfred with the trays and the glass. He had 4 interchangeable heads.
Ultimate Alfred.
Classic outs. He had it was 4 heads. One was the Outsider, the 1966 Adeline De Beer head from the 66 show, and Michael Goth from the Michael Keaton Batmans. I think it was, and then classic Alfred. Those were all the Alfreds. So classic Alfred, Outsider head,
Wrist hinges,
1966 Alan De Beer, and Michael Goth.
Wrist hinges came with a cowl. Amazing.
It's apparently out there.
It is out there
already. I mean, that's in my top 5 figures.
Mattel went out with a bang, and I am so thankful that they didn't say we don't care. And I think one of the reasons they did that was because the powers that be at Mattel know that. I mean, I think McFarlane's going to do a good job. I'm very optimistic, but Mattel knows that within 3 years, when it's time to get the main DC license again,
they might be bidders. They might be bidders because they have.
They're gonna.
Killer Croc was cool, but you're like, I can't collect it because it's like.
Well, I mean, I definitely am gonna go for a lot of aspects of that wave.
It sucks. So
KG Beast. I have to get KG Beast because no one's gonna do another KG Beast.
Well, no one's ever gonna do another Alfred either. So you have to get the Alfred.
You have to.
You're gonna buy him like 3 times to do all the heads.
And it's
I just want to buy them once for the classic Alfred, but they never did another Alfred figure ever. Except for that Hush.
Yeah, the Hush wave, and then the animated exclusive wave. But Alfred never gets enough love. And then you got to get KG. I'm gonna get KG Beast because no one cares, or no one necessarily cares to do him. I'm not getting Katana though. I don't care enough about that.
Well, it's weird for collectors because you want these figures in that scale and they're perfect. But you don't know what the heck McFarlane's going to do and how that would look with those figures. So I'm kind of in the bind right now with those kind of figures. I think Killer Croc looked awesome. I think Alfred looked awesome. I think the Red Robin looked awesome. I'm sorry that I'm not buying these figures. I really am because they really.
I'm still going to get them because I have stuff. I have stuff from Mattel and DC. DC Collectibles.
I give Mattel a lot of credit, saying, "Hey, we're still here. We're going to lose the license regardless.
But we care.
We're going out with a bang. Even though we're going out.
We want to.
They cared.
We want to.
They gave a damn.
Yeah.
That matters a lot to toy fans.
They did really well because Mattel, they've been trying some new things. I don't know what took them so long. I understand molds aren't necessarily the cheapest. But within the past year or two, they've done 6-inch Jurassic World figures, which is super cool. They've upped the ante with this, with DC. They went with bang with that. They bought back, or they got the rights to He-Man. I'm not the biggest He-Man fan, but I know, or actually I'm not really a He-Man fan at all, but I don't know necessarily what they can do except maybe improve on the sculpts. So Mattel seems to want to do some good things, and I'm happy about that. I'm interested to see what they do in the future. I'm also interested to see if I will buy anything from them within the next few years.
I mean, they're not dead. They have Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, and we'll see if they get any other licenses. I mean, that's really what you can say about them.
And I'm sure they'll still do some cool Hot Wheels type cars like. The Thanos copter was cool from what was it last 2 years ago, the SDCC exclusive. So sky's the limit.
And DC, moving on to DC Collectibles, Jim Fletcher, who's the spokesman for DC Collectibles,
seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. They are releasing animated Batman Who Laughs, animated Talion from those interpretation lines.
Yeah, their what if it was done in this
animated form,
like Paul an animated Dini aesthetic,
and Bruce Timm series of the Batman the Animated Series,
and like their Justice Leagues and their Supermans.
Right. So they're doing the Batman Who Laughs, the Talon, and Vampire Batman, which were the new reveals. Big players was that DC Batman, Mikey TMNT, GameStop exclusive, with that cloth cape, SDCC GameStop exclusive with that cloth. I think it had a cloth cape.
It does.
And they had the Batman cowl. They also had Batman cowls. They also had a Bride of Catwoman statue to show off, and DC DC Essentials Sinestro, Green Lantern, and Catwoman. You got the Mikey Batman.
Love it.
TMNT.
Love it.
That was the hottest item
So cool.
at SDCC. Take it away.
I love it. I think it's really wonderful. I don't care about Ninja Turtles at all. Really don't. But I love Batman. And the Batman versus the TMNT movie was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming out with 2-packs that are going to be going to GameStop. And they're doing the smart thing is they're all going to be out by December, but they're releasing one a month in unison.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
And the movie contained other villains besides just Ra's al Ghul and Shredder. So they said they're working on the sculpts for more villains. So they're doing DC Collectibles is actually doing a lot of cool things. Now, I missed their Icons line. That was wonderful. And their Essentials line is trash.
Yeah.
So with how they let me down for that, I'm happy they're making up for it in other ways. Is weird because it's like I heard rumors that their COO is a penny pincher, which I understand sometimes you got to be, but most of the time, the money will it'll happen. You just got to give it a chance. But the past few months, I've been really, really happy with DC Collectibles, and I hope they don't let me down. I don't care about any of their statues though, but that Mikey figure is wonderful. The 2-packs are going to be wonderful. I want them all.
Right.
And they all come with a boatload of accessories.
Yeah, I mean the TMNT stuff sold, and that was like their blockbuster exclusive. So they won the exclusive.
And everyone's doing
figure.
TMNT now.
Yeah, everyone's TMNT.
It's
now,
funny,
yeah.
like even NECA had releases, and then after SDCC, Super 7, they've been teasing it for a while, but they're going to do TMNT Ultimates. If you're a TMNT fan, this is like probably been the best time to be a collector since like the early 90s when Playmates was the only player in the game, but they released all of those carded figures at once.
Yeah.
But now, so you got Super 7, you got more NECA. NECA wants to do more 2-packs. They want to do this and the next thing. And you got the DC Collectibles aesthetic ones. They've had SH Figure Arts ones in the past.
Yeah.
Never been a better time to do that.
Also, the DC Essential Sinestro, Green Lantern, and Catwoman, apparently they made more of those because enough people bought them. I just don't get excited about DC Essential.
I don't know why more people care. Like, I would probably care about them if they had interchangeable like their Essentials. The Harley Quinn, for example, from the Essentials contained a gun, a mallet, the Harley Quinn figure, 2 or 3 interchangeable hands.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's worthwhile. But it's like now they're they increased the size, and before these were supposed to contain really cool bases, they scrapped that, and then they called it Essentials because I remember one time one of them was like, "Well, we just we give you what you need," and it's like I need interchangeable hands.
To me, they're too tall, and I don't care.
it's just not. I don't know. It's just a boring line.
Moving on to NECA, they're making cartoon turtles. TMNT, the animated series figures. They also have a 2-pack with Foot Soldiers, Rocksteady Bebop, Turtle 2-pack, Style Guide Colors, Foot Soldier 2-pack, more weapons and accessories. So there's like two Foot Soldiers 2-packs, I guess. One has more weapons and accessories than the other. They also have Leatherhead, and a lot of those, and also making TMNT movie figures. Also having a Metalhead figure from the animated line. So NECA really turned a lot of heads with their animated line again, expanding more with 2-packs and stuff. Can be found at Target.
NECA's awesome, man. I wish I liked more. I wish I liked more of their properties.
I wish I did too. I mean,
I just don't necessarily care about all their horror figures or TMNT, but I will be purchasing, as stated before, 2 of those Green Lantern 2-packs. I'm at least getting one. I'll probably end up getting 2.
Those animated TMNT Turtles that NECA has made is truly a
Gorgeous.
fan favorite, and everybody's gonna just pounce on those.
And the fact that they've been able to work it out, because if you look at it, they're not at Walmart's, they're at Target, and the reason they're able to do this, 'cause I remember they talked about in the past, is they have to technically be in like the adult section, because Playmates owns the exclusive rights. So the way they've been able to do that in the past is convention exclusives, but now they've partnered with Target, and they're able to have them. They're not in the toy aisle. They'll be away from the toy aisle with most of the Funkos. And
Casey Jones and April O'Neil figures will be made. And Randy is a great spokesman for
literally seems like the nicest dude in the world.
And talk to you all day.
And you can ask them questions on Twitter and Facebook, and they will actually respond.
Yeah, they will. And
they're smart. They know without the fans, they don't have a toy company.
Great line. They have more coming. If you're a TMNT fan, it's probably very like.
It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas.
It's like an avalanche of figures. Great line for the animated line. I'm kind of sorry I don't have like a line. Like I'm not into them. Like I'm just not. I didn't grow up with the show. Also have a quarter scale Pennywise, Pinhead, Halloween 2, Michael Myers. He'll have soft goods, so that's interesting. Leatherhead, Terminator figures from the new movie. Also have Kenner style Alien and Predator figures. Rhino Alien as well, part of that line. Stylized figures for horror, stylized figures for horror, Michael Myers, Pinhead. Stylized figures for horror, Michael Myers, Pinhead, Leatherface, Chucky, and Annabelle with the display case. If you saw the Annabelle movie and you liked it, those are part of the stylized figures. Obviously not into horror, you and me, but they do a good job in the horror. And it's good that they have that branch, because not a lot of license, like it's not like Hasbro would ever do horror figures.
No, because Hasbro knows they want to. Right. Hasbro wants to appeal to adults and kids. That's why, like, they'll do some of the less articulated toys for kids. Right. And no way kids would be wanting to deal with like a less articulated Freddy Krueger or something, or Jason Voorhees.
But they do like these like cartoony-ish figures as well, and those are I think the stylized. Well, no, those aren't the stylized ones, but they have like a different one where they do like these cartoon-like versions of the
Oh yeah, those figures. Little cool ones, yeah.
And then they have like the real thing that looks like
the little vinyl.
They always do a great job. The sculpt, the paint, everything looks great, and it looks super real. So NECA had a good show. We'll give them an A.
Hey.
And moving on to Diamond Select. Zach is usually the spokesman.
He's another good one. I like him.
He's a good one.
I met him at C2E2.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that you met. I didn't know you met him.
And I actually met him, and I said,
I didn't know. You didn't tell me this story. This is news to me.
I should have asked for a picture. But yeah, when I actually met him, and then when we said, I thanked him for getting the, I said, I'm so excited you guys have the Iron Giant license. Such an underrated license. And one of the guys who was behind him was like, that was me. And I said, thank you.
Yeah.
And they're releasing an Iron Giant in the future. More than just the Vinnie Mate I had, and more than just the Mini Mate. I'm so excited.
I like that when people like that, the toy creators or spokesmen, talk to people like you, the fans.
Right.
And that's, to me, is important and really shows your true colors as a toy company. Willing to talk to someone like you, the toy fan, and say, what do you like? And what would you like to see? And what do you think we could improve on? That is why they should be there at those conventions, whether it's SDCC or Toy Fair or New York Comic Con. They should be there to like answer your question. Or C2E2. I mean, it doesn't have to be a huge show, but yeah, they should answer all your questions and stuff like that.
What were some of your highlights from Diamond?
I'm gonna read some over here and I'll let you know. They have the new figure for Rocketeer. Black Hole figures. Vinnie Mate is one of them.
Black Hole Worm. That's an old sci-fi show. Right?
Yeah. That was a lot of people got surprised by that. Like, oh, Black Hole.
Yeah, they get cool. They get cool little licenses.
91 Godzilla, 93 Godzilla, Bruce Lee statue. Oh, these were cool. The X-Men animated series. bust with Cyclops, Jean Grey, Magneto, and Wolverine. That's cool that they, like some people don't do the figures, and I get that, and they just want the bust.
Or they aren't able to do the figures. That sometimes some people aren't able to do the figures.
And I think those actually look pretty good in an office and stuff, like a
and it's awesome
business casual setting.
Oh yeah, and it's awesome that they partnered with or I shouldn't say partnered. They bought Gentle Giant, so now they have all their sculptors employed with Diamond too.
And some of their mini mates are Doc Ock, Agent Carter, Maximum Venom crossover, Venom Hulk, Cap, Venom White Spider-Man. So they did like a Venom series for their mini mates, like Venom Hulk and Venom Cap.
Yeah, like how Funko did.
Right. So and for their Marvel Select line, they did a Pennywise mini mate and also a Jack in the Box Pennywise, which is kind of cool for the movie. Marvel Select, they had the Iron Man Nano Gauntlet. It's an Iron Man figure from Endgame that comes with a Nano Gauntlet. Video game Spider-Man, Psylocke, Sandman, and Hulk in his jumpsuit, and it's the purple and white jumpsuit with the Infinity Gauntlet. I think the Hulk is my favorite thing I have to get because Marvel Legends ain't gonna do one. Plus, I think that fits scale wise, and I think some Marvel Select figures sculpt wise and paint wise are some of them are better than Marvel Legends. So I'm gonna get the Hulk with the gauntlet because that's like a must-have. That's a sexy looking figure.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Same with the Sandman. Their Sandman was tipped over.
Yeah.
So it makes me nervous, and I hope it is able to hold their own weight.
I mean, I can only say if it's like that it would be too top heavy.
And I don't know. I hope it's not because the base looks gorgeous. And also I'm really excited about that. And then I'm excited about, obviously, when they eventually do an Iron Giant figure. And I'm excited because they were able to, I think they might increase their prices, which sucks.
Yeah.
But there's rumors.
Yeah, they might.
They do give you a lot of bang for your buck, though. But Castlevania animated series, which is the best thing on Netflix by far, they're doing the first 3 from there.
Mm-hmm.
And the only there's a positive and a negative. The positive is they did something so they're able to decrease the price and they're going to be at like Walgreens.
Yeah.
The negative is I'm greedy and they did not show me Wave 2. So they've only shown me Wave 1.
Yeah.
Not Wave 2. I want them all though. I love anime figures and I just think the story is fantastic.
Also they're releasing Teen Titans statues. Batman animated statues, Superman and Wonder Woman. It's like a Trinity thing. They look really good. Avatar figures like Aang and the fire
Those
guy.
are cool. Did you show those to Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna get them, but they are cool.
Really
They're
cool.
gonna do like the Aang and the fire guy and
the water girl.
Water girl.
I wish we were able to better describe. My girlfriend loves Avatar.
So they're doing
and so does his brother. I just wish I
doing the girl, the guy,
Aang.
They're doing the girl, the guy, Aang, and the fire guy. So that's who I know.
We're very descriptive with our knowledge of Avatar.
I didn't watch it. Jeff would know.
I definitely want to. Eventually, I'll get around to it.
They're going to do those figures. So that's coming. Statue of Lobo, Westworld figures, Castlevania figures. So check those out. So they are expanding their. With more streaming, shows, you're going to get more companies doing more figures of different things.
I love when they're able to expand articulation too, because it's super weird. For example, like their Bruce Lee are their most articulated figures ever.
Yeah.
But I've heard that their Marvel Select figures, so Hasbro pretty much owns the quintessential market on their 6-inch.
Mm-hmm.
But so in order for them to do Marvel Select, they have to increase the size and less articulation. But sometimes that works out really well, because with Sandman technically can be a bigger figure because of that sand base they added. So that's why I'm so excited for that. And the Hulk is in generally a bigger figure. And I don't buy every movie figure. I think from Endgame, the only one I bought was so far was Ronin, because Jeremy Renner did an amazing job. But
and you bought the Iron Marvel Legends.
Oh yeah, escape armor. Yeah.
I found this last week. I was very lucky. I needed to.
Yeah, no, that was cool. Yeah, good old FYE, even though they overpriced the crap out of it. But anyway, but I had to get it. Yeah, no, I'm very excited about that. You and I will both end up getting it. That'll be your first. That'll be
the Hulk is great. I mean,
it's weird because it's like you and I both have not. My last Marvel Select was the Disney Store exclusive Thor with the spinning hammer.
Yeah.
Yours was that Ant-Man that was also the Disney Store exclusive. So
right.
It'll be our first one. Usually the Disney Store exclusives are always cool.
Yeah.
But it'll be our
We
first
Disney Store.
It'll be our first one in ages and the first one that you and I both want. Because it's so cool.
Right.
Like great job.
All right. Marvel Select and Diamond Select. Awesome job.
A.
Yeah, A. Good job, guys. Mafex. We're getting to them.
Yes.
Into the Spider-Verse. Peter figure. Miles. I also have a Chucky figure. Not that has anything to do with the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, which was random.
Right.
First non
the
McFarlane or NECA horror property.
The Dark Knight Batman, Aquaman, Black Manta, and Mira. And
Hush.
Eva 13. I don't know what I wrote down there. I don't know what that is.
Evangelion.
Okay, Eva 13. Well, those are all going to be figures. Peter, Miles, Chucky, the Dark Knight Batman, Aquaman, Black Manta, and Mira with Eva 13. All going to be, they're all figures coming out from Mafex. What did you think of Mafex, my friend?
Mafex did awesome. I already pre-ordered their Batman Hush, their Miles Morales, their Dark Knight Returns.
The Batman Hush, the Miles Morales, and the Peter Parker. Did you say?
Yes. Or I have no Batman Hush, Miles Morales, and the Dark Knight Returns. I eventually want to get the Peter Parker. The only problem is I think their Mafexes are overpriced.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by the Into the Spider-Verse Peter and Miles figures, the soft goods, the
Peter too. Like they released it. They on Big Bad Toy Store and whatnot. They released so much cool stuff.
The soft goods on the Peter and Miles is great. They're tempting. Just the fact that they're doing soft goods is kind of like pretty amazing. But you also get they have that gut for Peter Parker. They gave him a sculpt of a gut, which is cool. And they also gave what else did they give him? They gave him the gut. They gave him the mismatched shoes. They gave him the soft good shorts, the jacket. They gave him the works for Peter Parker. The sculpt gut and the coat and the shorts and everything like that, which is cool. I like that. It's different. It gives you options for displaying and stuff like that. Miles Morales looked pretty cool. I'd still like to see him in person first. I don't know if I'm going to be a buyer. I mean, Mafex is, you don't see too much of their stuff in, oh, there it is. Yeah, you got it.
The heads are cool too. It's hard to see over here. But
yeah.
The heads, they have they have different expressions, and one of the coolest ones is where his mask is pulled up.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I mean, I'll definitely be a buyer.
And the coffee cup, yeah, that's another one.
The cool thing too is that it comes out in June on my birthday.
Sweatpants and a pizza.
And
that's great.
I love how
I don't care, Spider-Man.
I mean, it's deluxe. So I mean, the price is a little out there.
Yeah.
$104.99 for that one.
I want to see yours when you get yours.
Oh yeah, but I'm definitely going to eventually pre-order that, especially because it doesn't come out till June. Miles Morales is set to also come out in June. So let me see about the Dark Knight Returns. He's going to come out in May. So next summer, my wallet is going to be stretched thin. The random Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was what you were talking about here. The Evangelion.
I see. Yeah.
I love anime, as you know, as my best friend.
Is that
but
something you're getting?
I want to see it first. I've never seen that anime. I wish I knew more about Evangelion, but I just don't.
And yeah, I say Mafex won the show too. They were an A+, so you got to give them credit. I mean, they turned heads.
Credit where credit is due.
They turned heads with Into the Spider-Verse,
and it's cool too because those are all well within scale.
Yeah. And
Miles Morales is a little smaller. Peter Parker is taller.
right.
Dark Knight Returns, taller, muscular guy from Frank Miller's classic. Batman Hush from Jim Lee's classic. Like, I like that they're doing those, and I hope that means villains in the future, because you know who I actually liked, and I wish we got more into the Spider-Verse figures, and I hope we get more in the future if these do well, but I liked the female Dr. Octopus.
That was different. Yeah.
She was cool.
I didn't think I would, but then I'm like, you know what? This is pretty cool.
They did some ones, and I would love
it fresh.
I feel like the one they would have the easiest time doing, for an import company to do really well, would be the Prowler. And you and I both love our Marvel Legends Prowlers, so to have an Into Spider-Verse one,
that one was
I think it'd be really fun.
A cool figure. Yeah, you're right. The Prowler.
Like, they've only Hasbro did one, but it was in
hopefully they keep it up, Mayfax.
It was in like their
options.
their kiddos line. So
it's cool. I mean, like, I like that they did that license. That's different, and they did hit it out of the park with that. They did a great job with that license. Yeah. So I give credit to Mayfax. Like, bravo. Like, wow. Just, you totally blew people away. I think that was the most shocking thing to come out of SDCC. Like, the most like head turning thing. Like, what? Like,
yeah, no, they've been doing some cool things. The Batman Hush one even has a cloth. Like, the fact that they're introducing cloth goods, it shows that market drives competition. So they're seeing I guarantee they're looking at American companies, not just their Japanese counterparts, and they're going for there.
And moving on to McFarlane Toys, not a whole lot they showed from this show. Had Mortal Kombat, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero, Doomslayer figure. Fortnite figures were AIM, Jewel, Ragnarok, Inferno, Dire, and Havoc. I'm sorry, Inferno, Fool, Dire, and Havoc. So those were the Fortnite figures. They also come out those Harry Potter figures. They didn't show a whole lot because they didn't want to step on anybody's toes for San Diego Comic-Con when they were, nothing DC was shown. Make that obviously clear at this point. Nothing was shown. They didn't want to like upstage DC collectibles from one of the videos I watched. But they are releasing next 2 months from now during October October New York Comic Con. They will probably have the figures out on display for New York Comic Con come October to show those DC figures. With that being said, with DC switching licenses to McFarlane, they'll show their figures out for New York Comic Con in October, and then the wave will come out in January. So that'll be the first wave of DC figures. But there was a rumor saying that there was going to be Superman, comic style Batman, animated from the old 90s show, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini design of Superman and Batman, Suicide Squad from the movie Harley Quinn, and I forgot what the rest of those figures were. I can't remember the rest, but as far as I remember, those were those leaked figures that were rumored for the first wave. So, Kyle, you and I talked in full discussion about this. McFarlane's going to make DC action figures. They're going to make DC action figures, but they're going to come out in January. My theory was, I talked to you about this, was that my hypothesized theory was this. McFarlane, and it was rumored too, is a leak rumored, not official. This isn't official news, folks. This isn't official by McFarlane or anything. Just want to get that out there for you. But this is my guess of what's going to happen. My guess that McFarlane is going to make 7-inch figures, DC action figures, 7-inch figures of DC action figures, the same scale as the Fortnite figures, because I believe they're going to use the same sculpt molds and as the Fortnite figures, same scale, because though they already have those machines and molds in use right now from the Fortnite figures. So it only makes sense that they're going to do that with the DC figures, and also them coming out in January as opposed to like May, where would be an expected release date for figures coming out then. Because the January isn't far, folks. That's pretty that's pretty soon.
It's weird how they're
doing it very.
Yeah, the year started off with a bang.
Right.
Shit.
So they're doing it very quickly.
Too quick.
Yeah.
Makes me nervous.
So as my hypothesis, as I just stated, do you think that they will do 7-inch DC figures as opposed to 6-inch? And what do you think about that?
I hope not. That's all I can say is I hope not. Depending on how well they do it, it could work well because like I was showing you, remember when I sent you a picture of the 89 Batman from Mattel?
Yeah.
And the 89 Batman for NECA?
Yeah.
They were really close in scale.
Right.
So if they do it well, it could look really good on a shelf. I don't want them to do 7-inch figures. But if they do 7-inch figures, they can do it so they can disguise it enough where it can blend in with your other Mattel figures, your NECA figures, whatever. But it would certainly be interesting because, if you DC Collectibles is the one company that does do 7-inch figures, that their legs are just too darn big, and it would just not really blend well. Because I don't like the Essentials, but I bought one just for the heck of it because you can have enough Deathstrokes and. It too big. Does not blend well.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I hope I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. It makes sense for them to cut corners and just use the same sculpts and stuff machines they used to make the Fortnite figures.
I hope they do it right.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think I'm right because it saves them money. They don't have to do the sculpts and bucks, and you don't have to put as much work into the DC stuff again as you did before. You just reuse the Fortnite stuff and use the same machines, and they'll make 7-inch DC figures. And I hope not, because you have to equate for bigger figures like a Killer Croc or Swamp Thing, Darkseid. Those figures would be huge against 7-inch figures. I mean, come on! Get this right for criminy sake.
I hope they throw
6-inch affordable DC figures. Why is this so hard?
I hope they throw the kitchens. I hope McFarlane, being a fan himself, I hope he throws the kitchen sink at it though, and we can finally get something like a Lex Luthor in a suit. How hard is it to give me Lex Luthor in a suit and tie, not a spacesuit, suit and tie?
I agree. I think the DC Essential figures are too big.
Exactly.
6.7, and you're gonna make 7-inch DC figures? Are you kidding me? That's gonna be too freaking high. That's too tall. Come on. 6. Look at you can't see it, but Kyle, look at my 6-inch wall. You can fit all of them on my shelf. The bigger characters, you can
wedgie.
The 6-inch figures you can fit on a shelf. The 7-inch ones, no, especially not bigger figures like Darkseid and Swamp Thing and everything. Come on. It's just make affordable 6-inch DC figures. Why is this so hard? Mattel did it. Just do what they did. I don't know why this is so. I really hope that I'm wrong and that they're not 7-inch figures, because if that's the case, I may not buy any of them. And here thought I was going to buy a whole new wave of DC figures, and I was going to invest in them, and I think they're shooting themselves in the foot, like what a lot of people are saying. That's what JC said. And it's because some people just won't buy them if they're not 6-inch. That is the scale. That is the standard scale for every action figure, 6-inch.
And it looks the best because 6-inch means you can make smaller characters like the Penguin.
Right.
As we were saying, bigger characters like a Darkseid. Not
every figure is going to be 6-inch.
And you can scale it really well. Plus, a lot of people, most DC fans are also Marvel fans. They may like one better than the other, but they might want to display both on their shelves. So
I really hope I'm right. I'm gonna pick one out of the thing here. Anakin here. This is a 6-inch figure. This is the scale. That's the scale. Just do that.
It's not that hard.
It's gonna make
basic
people
shit
frustrated, and people will want to get Darkseid and Swamp Thing, and those figures are not gonna fit on a shelf. They're gonna be too big, against 7-inch figures. I mean, like, I really hope I'm wrong. I hope it's 6-inch, and I hope I'm a buyer. But just like what I'm thinking and doing the math in my head, January and the Fortnite figures and using those same machines and molds and sculpts and stuff like that. It's just, it's. I really hope I'm wrong, and I got to see them in person before I make that decision. I mean, if they're 6-inch, I'm in, but if 7-inch, I'm 50-50, and I'd have to see them in person to make that decision.
Yeah, because it might even at that point, it might even like depend on which one you might pick and choose.
Right.
I just think I will say this though. Okay, so love McFarlane toys, and I hope he gets 3D printing technology, and I hope they do some unique characters that maybe don't get enough love.
Right.
I think Hasbro has been doing 2-packs lately, and they've been doing vehicle packs, and they've been doing a lot of very cool stuff. Hasbro is consistently my favorite toy company,
and
so I would love to see like a Mr. Freeze with a Laura Freeze.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, and speaking of Hasbro, we're gonna dive into their Marvel Legend reveals. So Dwight Stahl, the head guy for Hasbro, and we'll try to get this as quickly as possible because there's a lot here. Be quiet, bro.
Yeah, thank you for everyone sticking with us. It's
yeah,
it's been a little long.
Yeah, I know.
Trying
it's
to get
a little
this,
long. We're trying to get it done.
the
We're
ball
getting there.
rolling.
We only have like a couple more things to reveal. Like three more brands. We're almost done. Thanks for sticking with us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube and Facebook pages. Make sure feel free to talk about us. And if you have any questions, please throw us a question, throw us a comment, throw us a like. Hey, spread the word, spread the wealth,
Spread the love.
We join in on the conversation.
Share on Facebook.
It doesn't just
Twitter,
have to be us two
Instagram.
jajas. It's like, come on. But yeah, just come on. Just like, subscribe, watch. This is a fun zone. Fun zone where we just talk toys. Doesn't matter what it is you collect. But here we go to Marvel Legends, which Marvel Legends is they demolished the show and totally dominated it. Marvel Legends, they released a Bone Claw Wolverine with Cyclops and Jean Grey 3-pack, which I believe is an Amazon exclusive or GameStop. Right?
Couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell
top
you.
of my head.
Well, I don't think they really said. They will release a Wolfsbane, X-Men Karma, and Danny Moonstar, Polaris and Havoc 2-pack. And those were the X-Men figures, Karma, Danny, and Wolfsbane. That's like a Walgreen exclusive, which will have like 3 different interchangeable heads, so you can get like 3 characters in one pack. Or well, not one. It's not a pack, but it's one figure. So
a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah, Polaris and Havoc 2-pack is another one. Doctor Doom, which I thought was the best reveal because they tricked me with that reveal. I thought when they first revealed that, I thought the plastic was so good on his cape and the cowl that I thought it was soft goods. They fooled me. I mean, the armor looked fantastic and the detail looked crazy. They also released She-Hulk, X-Man, they also released Vulture, Shang-Chi, Big Time Spider-Man.
Vulture is going to be awesome.
The classic Vulture.
So good.
The older, like, Sinister Six Vulture.
I don't have to go back and get that Toy Biz one.
Spider Armor Mark III. They have Legendary Riders, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Squirrel Girl.
I guess Squirrel Girl's... A lot of people like Squirrel Girl. I just don't care.
That was well made. I'm not into the Squirrel Girl Rider series, but that was well made. With like three squirrels that come with her. Cosmic Ghost Rider, a lot of people like her. And they also are releasing Spider-Man Velocity Suit, Morph, and...
Morph's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Morph. They have him coming up for the next X-Men wave. They also have Spider Armor Mark III coming from one of the Spider-Man waves. Also, Endgame Wave 3 will feature Iron Patriot, Transparent Vision, Iron Man from the Endgame movie, Valkyrie, Heimdall, Avengers Cap from the first Avengers movie. They'll have Amazon will have a Deathlock X-Force. Deathlock. X-Force Deathlock.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
It's definitely different.
Because they've done that already. And they'll do a Punisher. They have the new Giant Man coming out from the movie from Civil War with repaint. He built the Giant Man figure. Oh, well, because they're making a better one in this Giant Man.
I'm so happy I didn't build that Giant Man. I might get this thing.
I did. I'm so pissed. I hate it when they do that.
They keep doing that shit, but and they make it better. Like you and I are both happy we didn't build that Juggernaut Build-A-Figure because you can just get it with Colossus with interchangeable heads now, and it's bigger and better.
In that Endgame Wave 3, the Build-A-Figure will be Fat Thor with his sunglasses.
Of course, they'd make him the Build-A-Figure, the character everyone
wants. They gave him a hammer, which I didn't really get. But they should have given him a beer can.
Yeah, that would have been cool too.
Yeah, but that's cool. I like the Fat Thor. So any of the ones I just said. What did you think?
Fat Thor is easily my favorite. Vulture is going to be awesome. They're all pretty cool. They even did. I think you forgot to mention the 80 years Deadpool Hit Monkey one.
Hit Monkey, yeah, it's a 2-pack.
I'd love to have an original Hit Monkey when they had him as a Build-A-Figure one year, and I might eventually get that. But.
Yeah, and that's all. Oh, and also Strong Guy. He's going to be a Build-A-Figure in a future X-Men.
A lot of people are really excited about that. I need to do more research on Strong Guy. I don't know too much about him.
And, you know...
I know he was from... I think they had him in the animated series.
Yeah, Marvel Legends totally won the show. I'm excited about Vulture, Doctor Doom, Valkyrie...
Oh, yeah, I got to get a Doctor Doom to complete my Fantastic Four.
Heimdall...
Are you going to get Doctor Doom, Mr. Anti-Fantastic Four?
Well, he's... Yeah. I don't know if he's a Walgreens exclusive or not, but like
he's gonna be, I guarantee.
And he's gonna be hard to find. But yeah, absolutely. I don't like the Fantastic Four. No, I don't like them as here, but they have cool characters like Galactus, Doctor Doom, and the Watcher. And I mean, like, I like everybody except like I don't really care much for the Thing. But he's like, if I had to name my favorite in a row Fantastic Four. I hate Reed Richards and I hate Invisible Girl. I mean,
yeah.
I don't care.
You and I would both agree Johnny Storm is the best.
And I like Johnny Storm the most, and I like the Thing second. But
I'd agree with
I just don't really. I don't know. They're wearing matching jumpsuits. They remind me like the Brady Bunch of the Marvel. I
mean, because they were all Walgreens exclusives, so I waited what? 3 years to complete that team. Four figures I waited 3 years for.
Reed Richards is boring, but then like characters like the Watchers, Galactus, and Doctor Doom are super cool.
I don't know why I have the Watcher Marvel Selects, which is worth a fortune,
right?
And I bought it for. What, $19.99, and they still have not released a Marvel Legends version.
You're a big Deadpool guy. You gonna get that too?
No, I don't. I just don't care enough.
Yeah, there was a lot of like stuff I didn't care for, but like the Endgame Wave 3, I'm totally in for. The Punisher, I didn't care for.
The Endgame Wave 3, I'll definitely.
I'm kind of saving money, and I'm kind of not, but.
Vulture Heimdall was cool too because I like Idris Elba.
Vulture, you got to get classic Sinister Six Vulture comic. Doctor Doom, you got to get. She-Hulk was cool, but I don't want her in gray. I want her in green, so I'll skip her. Some of the X-Men were a little bit too. Like I don't think I'm gonna get the Polaris Havoc 2-pack, but I will probably get the Jean Grey 3-pack with Cyclops and Wolverine with the coat.
Yeah, they did
a better job with Cyclops.
Some people are like, oh, they just blah blah blah. They've already released warnings, but they did a lot of cool things. The interchangeable heads, if nothing else, are
Marvel Legends just totally demolished everything. They do a great job every year.
And they keep to
Dwight.
They keep it at an amazing price point too.
Yeah, I think they're just releasing a lot. A lot of people are complaining right now that they're releasing a lot, like right now, because people's wallets are really. I mean, you get the Marvel 80 years, and you got the 2-packs coming out, and then you got the Endgame Wave 2 figures coming out, a Spider-Man Wave. It's just a lot at the same time. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but. I don't want to complain too much because I remember when they'd release like 3 figures a year because they wouldn't have because they would used to do running changes and their distribution was messed up, but then they
Right.
got rid of it, and they release it because they do it as a tribute to us as the fans because they know it sells so
I
well.
get it. I just wish it didn't.
They do
come all at once because they did the same thing with the Marvel 10 years MCU thing.
right.
That
I mean,
happened the same time this year.
I mean, because it's tough in a way, but I would rather have it be like this than be like Star Wars, where they release it very, very few and far between.
But it's easier on the wallet.
It is. But then, especially with Star Wars, it's like I've found one droid in person, and it's like thank God for eBay.
Yeah. And speaking of Hasbro and Star Wars, we're gonna move to Star Wars. Their releases were the hyper-real Darth Vader 8-inch and the also Luke figure. The 6-inch red Sith Trooper, which was an exclusive, SDCC exclusive. Prototype Dagobah Luke, which is a 6-inch figure that's coming out that won the fan demand vote. And
what was the last one?
Prototype Dagobah Luke.
I'm trying to remember that one. You said that one.
It was just like a prototype. There was no paint on it. It was just like a sculpt. It was on their PowerPoint slide. It wasn't revealed. It was like a picture of it they showed.
Okay.
So that one they're making, and also Boba Fett helmet. I gotta say, Kyle, Star Wars Hasbro was disappointing, subpar, and just plain who cares.
I love the SDCC exclusive Boba Fett though. The Hobbit, like that was cool, but everything else was trash.
So what do you? Well, obviously, what do you? What I mean, what did you? I want to get more thoughts on you of what you thought of Star Wars Hasbro, the state of it, and their show.
I thought it was garbage. It added zero value to anyone's lives. They just did not do a good job. There's so many possibilities of things they can and should do. You and I also think that their hands are tied by Disney.
Yeah.
But because which is tough because even one of the things McFarlane said is when he thinks of a lot of things he has to like talk about, like he has to talk with like Warner Brothers executives with his DC line, and I'm sure Hasbro tells them that they have to release some of the movie figures for that and whatnot. But like, I know Hasbro, I'm sure, wants to release other ones. Like, I think one of the coolest things would be, I would love to see them release, more prequels. Watto, Sebulba, Kid Anakin,
some clone troopers.
Yeah, like do a pod racer 3-pack. And the coolest one would be C-3PO with his inside showing.
Right.
That was awesome.
And Hasbro wants to make those figures. They know they sell because they have to make a dollar.
Yeah, because look how well Darth Maul showed.
But Disney says, well, you got to make our characters because you're under our license. And it's like, okay, but they're also a company that needs to make money. And unfortunately, the Rays, the Finns, and the Rose Ticos aren't selling because, you can go check your Star Wars toy aisle right now. Some Walmarts have pulled Star Wars off the shelves because it's just not selling. It's taking up space. Other stores like Walmarts and Targets have priced some toys at 75 cents because they can't sell it.
You and I have found some Black Series figures for $7 of the new movies, but yet they can't keep the Mace Windu wave on the shelf.
No.
Well, but the new movie waves, they don't want fins. I mean, the funny thing is, out of the new wave, the only new wave figures I have on my nerd shelves are Snoke with a throne, and I got the separate base from Kylo Ren. Right. That's amazing, and a BB-8. Right. Other than that, it's all from the previous one.
It's just like if the pegs are being worn by Rose Ticos, Finns, Constable Zuvios, and it shows you that this new trilogy just isn't selling toys.
Sucks.
The old stuff is. Mace Windu is hard to find. Grand Moff Tarkin, hard to find. The Porgs, they've been hard to find, but that was like a special thing. Certain stormtroopers. General Grievous. Who saw not many people saw General Grievous.
Yeah,
people were swiping those figures up because they're leaving the new trilogy stuff. And I know Triple Force Friday is coming up very, very soon, but I don't think it's going to be much of a success because I don't think that many people are that excited for the Rise of Skywalker. I think the fandom menace has truly come into its own to battle Disney and tell them what's wrong. I think they're a great group. I listen to some of their podcasts and videos and stuff. I truly recommend you follow like World Class Bullshitters and the Fandom Menace and Nerderotic is another one. They all tell you what's wrong with Star Wars, and you're kind of like, yeah, that's what's wrong with Star Wars, and it's got to be fixed. And I don't think attacking fans and calling them man babies. And I get it. You're trying to appeal to a new audience of Star Wars, but also you can't just crap on the original trilogy and forget what happened before. It's just with this new trilogy, I just don't think that there's anything memorable. There's no depth in the characters. They're all kind of one-sided.
They killed Snoke like that.
Yeah,
Palpatine was awesome.
They're all one-sided. They're
Palpatine, you built up to Palpatine. Snoke.
You could tell some of it has an agenda for the left, and it's like, I just want to watch a Star Wars movie, and you're putting all this stuff that just doesn't matter, and it's just not Star Wars. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. It has no depth.
And now they're like, oh, we're gonna bring back Palpatine, and it's like,
really, really,
I love Emperor Palpatine, but it's like that goes to show you that you don't have any new ideas,
and you just want people to be absolved in the new Star Wars and forget the original trilogy,
right.
Whatever happened to it. And I think bringing back Palpatine's a huge mistake. And I think that shows on the toy aisle. I think Hasbro Star Wars, though they had their hands tied a lot, had a bad show. They didn't have anything to show. I mean, come on, you couldn't show at least a wave of Black Series figures. Are you kidding me? Well, you were waiting on Triple Force Friday. Well, what am I going to buy on Triple Force Friday? How about that? I know you're saving it for Triple Force Friday, but I'm not going to participate in Triple Force Friday just because you say I should. And I honestly, I don't know if I'm going to get any figures from the new movie, and I just think it was subpar. And I know Hasbro's fingers are tied. I know the license expiration is coming up. I don't know if they're going to give up that license. I doubt it, but I don't think Hasbro Star Wars is definitely not their fun. Right. Marvel Legends is fun and profitable, but Star Wars Black Series is not fun and semi-profitable. I
enjoy the import figures in a lot of cases more than the Hasbro figures because there's more abundance of the imports. But Hasbro, I have more of the Hasbro figures because they can kick ass and take names with them when they want to.
I mean, they just need to make more of the prequel figures, and then they can make some of their own. I don't know, just release 3 waves: one for prequel, one for new stuff from the movies, from the Disney movies, and stuff from the original trilogy. Do 3 waves a year. Follow that mantra of prequels, Disney stuff, and original trilogy. Do 3 waves a year, and you're good. I don't see why this is such an issue. I know they're holding back on a lot of characters because they want to keep it interesting, but you can't keep doing Han, Luke, and Leia 100 different iterations and Yoda again. And I get it, you have the new technology and stuff like that, but you got to really build. You got to get people coming in. I really haven't. The latest figure, I got a battle droid that was cool, and they do a good job. It's just I wish they did a good job more frequent figures, it seems like every 4 months I get a Star Wars figure. It's Grievous, and then 2 months go by I get Mace Windu, and then a month goes by I get the droids. So we'll see. I hope it gets better, and I'm excited. And the next figure I really am looking forward to right now is Emperor Palpatine, the Amazon exclusive. So
yes.
Be that as it may, we'll see what happens with Star Wars Hasbro. And we're almost done here, folks. We just we have Transformers, Power Rangers, and Thundercats to get through. So Hasbro Transformers, they had the obviously 27-inch HasLab Unicron, which is supposed to be a crowdfunding thing where you need 8,000 people to pre-order it. And it's $574.99. $574.99. I need 8,000 people to pre-order it. It's for the War for Cybertron. They need that to happen. It turns into a giant sphere, and it also turns into Unicron, which is the sphere is like an eye-looking thing with the thing like rings around it, but then it also comes out with It's like it's a huge transformer that measures 27 inches tall. What did you think of that?
It was cool, but unless you're like a diehard Transformers fan, like that's more expensive than a Sideshow or Hot Toys.
And it doesn't look like it's halfway.
Certainly, it's certainly not as popular as the Jabba sail barge. I don't think.
But it's not even coming. Like it's not halfway there yet for what they need to get to. Actually, I just found out today that the Cookie Monster HasLab thing did not pass. They didn't even get a quarter of the amount of people.
I forget what that was supposed to be.
It was just supposed to be like a life-size Cookie Monster that Hasbro was going to make. It was like plush. And they were going to make it, but it never made it. And so they're not going to make it.
It makes me wonder what they're going to do for Marvel in the future. Shoot.
We'll see. I'm sure
I can't even think of anything.
Oh, yeah, Galactus.
Oh my god! If they do that,
you use the Unicron thing, just get Galactus. Yeah.
If they do a huge Galactus, that'll.
Oh yeah. I mean, if they put the plastic into it,
right? Especially if they like give them LEDs. Oh my God, Hasbro would have to turn away people
and like a clear effect. Of
give them a little small
surfer,
silver
surfer, like
right
coming around his like his shoulder or something. Like that.
They could do some cool stuff.
So there's that. They have other Omega Supreme from the Armada series, Optimus Prime, Omega Supreme, G7 Soundwave. Leader Class Astro Train, Crosshairs, Spinster, who turns into a helicopter, Launch Gantry, Duocons, Micromasters, Rat Bat, Rung, Rumble Singe, Ape Face, and they also have Galactic Man Shockwave, Voyager Red Wing, Rainmaker 3-pack Target. Okay. Rainmaker, Voyage, Red Wing, and Shockwave will be the 3-pack, and there's Galactic Man and Gen Selects. Yeah, okay. Well, that everything I read is Transformers, Galactic Man, Shockwave, Voyager, Red Wing, Rainmaker 3-pack. That's part of the Transformers line. Doing great things with Transformers, Hasbro. I'm not into Transformers, but Hasbro's really making it work with Transformers. A lot of Transformers fans happy doing stuff from I know they're doing some vintage thing where they're doing it like look like the original card back from the cartoon from the 80s. They're doing that, like Transformers like that, from the old movie, the cartoon, the movies, and just their own kind of stylized stuff too. Yeah, they did something like with Ghostbusters too, where it turns into a Transformer. So they're doing like their own thing. What do you think about Transformers, Hasbro?
Hasbro does a good job. I just don't care about it. I think Gundam's cooler.
Ah, you Gundam guy. Okay.
Yeah.
You got his 2 cents on that, folks. And
but Hasbro, I mean Hasbro back in the 80s bought everything. They literally bought the brand from Japan.
Yeah.
They bought all rights to it. To everything, TV show, everything.
Yeah.
They just bought it. So Hasbro's incredibly intelligent. Whoever made that decision, that's the equivalent of the one guy who bought Alaska for us in the United States. Like,
yeah,
ingenious. It definitely paid off in the future.
And also moving on to Hasbro Power Rangers, they have their Legacy Collection. You'll get the Pink Ranger, Beast Morpher Gold Ranger. They'll have interchangeable heads and hands, the Red Ranger, and Lost Galaxy Magna Defender, and the Green Ranger Putty 2-pack. So that's what came out of the Power Rangers. Any of your thoughts on the Power Rangers?
I might actually get the pink one.
Really? Why?
I had a crush on the girl who played the pink one as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's very nostalgic.
You get the interchangeable heads.
And the arrow thing is
and
cool.
Hands, yeah. They're doing a great job with Power Rangers. Let Hasbro do what they have to do with Power Rangers. I mean, everybody is loving what they do, and who could say different? I mean, really, I think they just done like those figures look nice. I mean, I wasn't into Power Rangers or watched the show either, but I know I'm not into a lot of things too. But those are well-made figures. I mean, I remember their last wave sold pretty well, and I still see
especially
it
I can't think of the name, but
that red guy with the helmet and the wand. I forget.
Lord Zed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him in person. His aesthetics are awesome.
Yeah. So,
But
they're doing a great job with Power Rangers.
yeah.
And wrapping up here, they are Thundercats. Super 7's doing their Thundercats line with Lion-O, Mumra, Jackalman, and Panthera. Finally, you're getting your Thundercats figures from Super 7. Those looked really well. And also, when you do cartoons in figure form, they look like they came out of the cartoon. What did you think of this line?
I'll probably buy them.
Were you even into Thundercats?
I watched Thundercats as a kid.
I watched it occasionally.
It makes me want to like revisit it.
Yeah.
They or at least some of the main ones like Panthro and Lion-O and Mumra. I don't necessarily know about Jackal. I don't remember him too much, but these are the same ones Mattel did. I hope they can constantly update the articulation. It's weird because Mattel stopped doing them because the people that own the Thundercats, like, it was something like they were supposed to come out with a new movie or something, and the license was really weird. So the fact that Super 7's able to do it,
yeah,
and like everything Super 7's doing is they're allowed to do they're calling them Ultimates now.
Yeah,
I'm excited, especially because they had Panthro do the spinning nunchucks in the same way as Marvel Diamond Select had their Marvel Select Thor with the spinning hammer, and we need more of that creativity.
Did you have a top 5 of your favorites from Comic-Con that you must buy? I mean, from it could be Mafex, Mezco, Collectibles, Mattel. I don't know. I mean, I know you made a list. I know that was kind of a while ago. I don't know if you still have it.
I accidentally deleted it, and I don't know how to look it up on my phone. But the Superman 5 points were awesome. And then after the show, the NECA 2-pack was awesome. Dark Knight Returns, Batman Mafex was awesome. Mafex Batman Hush was awesome. Hasbro doing the Doctor Doom. So many. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's my best, and then there's what I want to buy. From what I want to buy. Alfred from Mattel.
Oh yes, that
Diamond Select Hulk with the Infinity Gauntlet. Marvel Legends. Let me cheat here, just so I remember. Marvel Legends Vulture. Marvel Legends. Fat Thor. And my favorite was the Doctor Doom figure. So that's my top 5 of what I want to buy. The best things I think I think was the best from SDC was the Unicron thing was pretty cool. The TMNT thing you got from DC Collectibles, I thought they won there. The teased Thanos from Mezco, I was very excited about. What else did I like? I think the NECA animated line's still strong and still holds the top tier of different things you could buy and stuff like that. And I think also Into the Spider-Verse Mafex figures were the best. So that's my top 5 of the just best things from Comic-Con. Rounding out that the Into the Spider-Verse thing from Mafex was a big head turner. And also the Unicron and the stuff from NECA and the TMNT stuff like that.
And then also 2 other ones was they had General Tao.
Uh-huh.
Which you have no clue who the hell that is.
Yeah, I gotta pretend to understand.
Original Dragon Ball,
right.
And then they're going strong with Figure Arts going strong with the Gundam Universe figures, which are awesome, by the way, and I've seen them at GameStop.
Okay. So
I mean, there's so many. It's hard to talk about it, but I think so many people did really well here, and the ninth, one of the things I was not expecting that I'm really excited about was those 1940 Supermans. I mean, I can only do this.
Yeah,
but there's still.
But that's different. That's fresh.
The shelf fodder. That's
new.
The shelf fodder is going to be awesome.
That would be my outside looking in out of the 5. So my next honorable mention was that Mesco thing, yeah, too. All right, folks. So we're wrapping up the live stream for today.
Thanks everyone for sticking with us.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us. If you didn't catch the live stream during the stream, it'll be up anyway. It's just regardless. I just want to say thank you for all our fans out there. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe either on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be doing a couple of these live streams here and there, just like for bigger events, like like San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, and Toy Fair, just because there's more to talk about, so it's just easier for us just to live stream it as opposed to let's make an episode, let's edit it, and then it's just more easier if we do it this way. The next episode, I think the next episode we'll talk about is toy groups, and also toy pricing. I think that'll be our next episode feature next month. Our show will be cut short to around 30 minutes. We know this was long, but we had a lot more to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to cut it short. I know 50 minutes for a show is a lot longer than people want to watch.
Give you the opportunity to enjoy it on a car ride, or get for those of you who are 21, crack open a nice brewski and be good to go.
Right. I mean, please people, just watch, comment, subscribe, like our video. Be part of the conversation. It's a friendly toy group. If you are irate about any toys, feel free to express your opinion. If you love something, express your opinion. If you wish something could be better, maybe there's something you think is gonna you think, oh, this would be a great idea for a toy license and stuff like that. We want to be a part of the conversation. We'll talk with you, and we might feature some of your questions and comments on the show. And just please like, comment, subscribe. Be part of our little community. Find us on Facebook and YouTube, Talking Toys. We're growing every little couple of episodes with views and everything. You'll be able to watch this video after the stream is done. And we hope that we covered everything you wanted to hear from SDCC 2019. There's a lot to talk about, so we didn't talk about everything, but just the big hitters, stuff like that. We thought there were winners and some losers and people that could do better. So we just hope you enjoy our show, and we'll be signing off. So yes, next month it'll probably be toy pricing and toy groups, and how that helps, and how that helps you hunt for toys, and what do you think is a proper price for toys in today's day and age? Do you see the prices are going up? Are they right where they should be? Are they too expensive, or are they just right where they need to be? And just kind of have a conversation about that. And also, how do toy groups help you? Are you part of a community of toy groups? We know we are, because we're part of Neotech, a great community of toy lovers and collectors that buy, sell, and trade. So that's great. And also maybe we'll hit into selling toys too. That's also another part of collecting, is letting go of some of the things. So that'll be part of our next episode. 10-minute recap of what's new, and then the rest will be devoted to conversation. So around 30 to 40 minutes, we're trying to make our episode. So, okay. So this is Brock Lauer signing off.
And Kyle Walters.
And thank you for looking live with us.
Keep collecting.